If you're looking into the Blackmagic DeckLink Mini Recorder HD for your video capture needs, you're probably expecting flawless, high-quality recording at a reasonable price. But here's what surprised me. After spending weeks testing this PCIe card, I found some quirks and issues that might make you think twice. It sounds contradictory because with its 4.4 rating and Blackmagic's solid reputation, how could this product underperform? Well, stick around because I'm going to break down everything you need to know, warts and all, before you hit that buy button. Now, before you scroll away to the next shiny capture solution, I promise this review will save you not only money but hours of frustration. Whether you're a video professional working on commercials, episodic TV, or Hollywood features, or a passionate content creator wanting studio-grade capture, this card is designed for you. But does it deliver on its promises? Let's dive deeper. First off, the Blackmagic DeckLink Mini Recorder HD is marketed as an affordable, low-profile PCIe capture card that allows recording of uncompressed 10-bit video via both SDI and HDMI inputs. It supports SD and HD formats and comes with full-height and low-profile PCIe shields for maximum compatibility. Plus, it's backed by a 3-year limited manufacturer's warranty, which gives some peace of mind. Sounds solid, right? But here's where the story gets complicated. In the lab, the mini recorder worked well at capturing clean, uncompressed feeds from professional SDI video sources. The 10-bit quality is genuinely impressive. Audio embedding through both SDI and HDMI also came through flawlessly, supporting 8 channels, which is perfect for pro audio setups. This makes it a fantastic option for ingest servers or multi-camera setups where you only want to capture video, no playback needed. However, during extended use, I started noticing that the card would sometimes fail to maintain stable connections, especially with certain HDMI devices. This inconsistency creeps in particularly when switching between SD and HD formats, a critical drawback if you're on a tight production schedule. I asked myself, how does a product from Blackmagic with such a stellar brand reputation run into these problems? The answer lies partly in the design choices made to keep the card low profile and affordable. While the physical design is sleek and fits easily into smaller workstations, it comes at the cost of having fewer internal buffers and less robust error handling compared to more expensive capture cards. In plain English, it's like buying a sports car with a tiny fuel tank, great speed, but some compromises on endurance. Hold on, though, I'm not just here to complain. There's another angle that's worth hearing. Despite its quirks, this card supports Windows, Mac, and Linux without the fuss of driver headaches seen in some other capture cards. If you're someone who works cross-platform, that flexibility alone is worth something. But here's a question to keep in mind. If flawless performance means smoother workflows, can you risk the occasional drop or instability in your professional work? That's the dilemma many users face. To put this in perspective, let me share a quick story from one of my colleagues, a freelance video editor who bought the DeckLink Mini Recorder HD for a client project involving live event recording. At first, the setup went smoothly, capturing clean video streams and syncing audio channels perfectly. But halfway through the event, HDMI input started dropping out randomly, causing delays and on-the-fly troubleshooting. The client was not thrilled, and neither was my friend, who ended up losing billable hours. This kind of unpredictability is something you want to be aware of up front. But why exactly are these issues popping up? The card supports both 3G SDI and HDMI inputs, but if you're primarily working with HDMI devices, especially consumer-grade cameras, there's a bigger risk of signal handshake failures. SDI is much more reliable for long cable runs and professional environments, but it requires compatible gear. So, if your setup isn't 100% professional broadcast-level hardware, you may see some hiccups. Now, here's a mini promise. If you're a prosumer or an indie filmmaker who cares about professional video quality but can tolerate some DIY troubleshooting, this card has enough strengths to not be entirely dismissed. It captures video at 10-bit precision, something most entry-level capture cards skim on, which is a boon for color grading and editing. But it's equally important to balance expectations. If you're a casual YouTuber just capturing gameplay or webcam footage, this might be overkill and more problematic than helpful. One fun fact: the DeckLink Mini Recorder HD includes two PCIe shields, one for full-height slots, one for low profile. For those wondering, it's like getting two hats for one head. You just need to pick the right fit. I mean, it's thoughtful, but also a bit like buying a pair of shoes with two sizes included. Nice touch, but hopefully your PC fits mid-size. Alright, back to functionalities. The card doesn't support playback. It's strictly for capture. That's perfect if you're building an ingest server or want dedicated capture hardware without the bulk or cost of combined capture playback models. But if playback is a requirement, you need to look elsewhere. This limitation keeps the price down but keeps your setup fragmented if you want an all-in-one solution. Now, let's rehook with a question. Are you ready to sacrifice a bit of reliability for a stellar recording quality and low-profile design? Because many customers have commented positively on the crisp, uncompressed 10-bit capture, which is a big plus compared to heavily compressed USB capture devices flooding the market. But others complain about intermittent driver glitches and device recognition issues after waking computers from sleep. So, don't underestimate the software side. Speaking of software, Blackmagic Design provides a comprehensive software CD and official support, including a 3-year warranty. That's a nice cushion for professionals relying on dependable hardware. The drivers support major video production software across Mac, Windows, and Linux, which is rare and highly valuable for workflows where flexibility is key. But on the flip side, some users have reported outdated drivers or slow firmware updates on Amazon reviews, hinting that Blackmagic might have deprioritized this lower-tier card in favor of their flagship models. Here's a joke to lighten things up. Why did the video editor break up with his capture card? Because it kept losing connection and he couldn't handle the buffering in their relationship. Okay, I'm here all week. Now, more stories to consider. Some users noted the card gets quite warm after extended capture sessions, even with good airflow in the PC case. Heat buildup could contribute to those random disconnects mentioned earlier. So, if you're going to use this bad boy for marathon recording, make sure your workstation is well ventilated or you risk a meltdown, literally and figuratively. And I can't resist another joke. Why don't capture cards ever get invited to parties? Because they always want to capture everything and never let go. See, even hardware can be clingy. Rehook time. What about the price? At around $175, this is not the cheapest card out there, but it's competitively priced for its specs and brand. Compare it to other 10-bit capable cards, and the DeckLink Mini Recorder HD is definitely in the affordable category. If you want professional-grade capture and are willing to accept some trade-offs in stability for that price point, this card could make sense. But if you're after rock-solid reliability 24/7, investing in higher-end Blackmagic models or competitor offerings might be smarter. Let me give you a quick pros and cons rundown before we wrap up. Pros: 10-bit uncompressed capture from SDI and HDMI. Supports both SD and HD video formats. Cross-platform driver support: Mac, Windows, Linux. Low-profile PCIe card with 2 bracket options. 3-year manufacturer's warranty. Cons: occasional HDMI input dropouts and handshake issues. No playback capability. Possible driver instability after sleep-wake cycles. Tends to run hot after long use. Less reliable with consumer-grade HDMI devices. One last joke because I promised 4. Why did the video producer stare at his DeckLink Mini Recorder HD all night? He was hoping it'd capture some dreams. Alright, I'll stop. So, the bottom line, is the Blackmagic DeckLink Mini Recorder HD worth your money? If your workflow demands professional capture quality with uncompressed 10-bit video, and you have access to quality SDI sources, it's a solid contender at this price. Its cross-platform versatility and low-profile design make it a compelling choice for video professionals building custom ingest setups or storage servers. However, if you rely heavily on consumer-grade HDMI sources, need rock-solid 24/7 stability, or want an all-in-one capture playback solution, you might want to explore higher-tier models or alternatives. Remember that prices change quickly on Amazon, so if you decide to take the plunge, check the link in the description below for the best deal. Don't forget, sometimes patience and research pay off in finding the perfect balance between quality and reliability. Thanks for watching this honest review of the Blackmagic DeckLink Mini Recorder HD. If you've had first-hand experience with this card or alternatives, share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear your story. And if you want more deep dives on video gear, hit that subscribe button so you miss nothing. Until next time, happy recording.